So now we are going to be taking these really old trailing arm bushings off of the Euro 323 rear trailing arms for disc brake conversion. And I got this E30 2002 E36/7 trailing arm removal and installation tool from AKG Motorsports. And if you scan the guide, there's a QR code on the bag, and it'll show you some pictures on how to use it. But I couldn't find any videos of anyone else using this, even though I know lots of people buy them. They're sold in a lot of different places. So I'll actually go over how to use this for removing these and installing the new ones as well. This won't be, you know, the best guide, but I think it'll be something. So first, you need to start by cutting the rubber off here so that this piece can slide over it. So one side, you can see, it doesn't have much of a lip. We may try to trim that as well, but you need to cut off as much of this as you can, and it's kind of twofold. You need the thing to be able to fit over it if you're doing it from this side and pulling it out that way, but also if this is the side that you're pushing through this way, then you want to trim off as much as you can, because it'll actually fold up and around the head of the bolt as it pushes through, or the nut, and then you'll have less purchase on it. So I think what we'll actually do is try to cut both sides. That way we can make it easier whatever direction we decide to go. That's enough, but we'll see if we need to do a little bit more trimming as we push it through. So when you're going to remove bushing, you're going to take off one of these end caps. So we'll end up with us putting the bolt through it with a washer, and then put the tube on plus this end cap, and then a washer and a nut. And it's easier to do the bolt head on the side that you're drawing through. That way, if you did it the other way, then if you're trying to put a socket on it as it goes down through, this bolt stud will stick out further and you won't be able to get it all the way on. So it's going to be two 19. It's going to be two 19s, one on either side, and I found that putting the socket on the bolt end is easier, and then you can put the wrench on this side. And what I actually end up doing is take a piece of tape and put it on. Yeah, so what I do with the wrench side is I take the wrench, put it on, and then I tape the wrench on here. It doesn't need to be tight, it just needs to be enough to hold it on. That way you can focus all of your energy on cranking this down. And you can see it's pushing this down in there now. And hopefully you can see why it's so important to trim this. It's not going to be able to slide down through here unless you do. And the more you trim it down, the easier it's going to be to push this down through. And with anything like this, I don't recommend using impact tools. You'll just end up breaking the tool you're using. Bushings and things like this, they're not just going to pop out. So slow and steady pressure, applying some kind of impact to it doesn't really help. But you can see that if you trimmed it appropriately, I didn't apply any heat or any kind of penetrant to this. It just, you know, with moderate hand pressure, it's just coming right out. If you find that the socket continues to slip off of the bolt, it's probably because the rubber of the bushing is bending back and being squeezed in here, and it's pushing your socket off the bolt. So that's why it's important that you trim that rubber back as best as you can. I cannot express to you how easy this is right now. This is butter smooth, and you just keep turning it until the tool just falls right through. So you'll know. There you go.